Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video, I'm going to share about this amazing fertilizer that is available in most of our houses, especially people who are a big fan of drinking tea. Now this is nothing but waste tea leaves that I have dried in the sun, and now it is completely dry and it is ready to be either stored or can be used in plants. Waste tea leaves contains a good amount of NPK, which is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, which is very beneficial for all of our plants. You can use this in any foliage plants. You can even use it in flowering plants. It tends to do a lot of benefit to flowering plants, and I'm going to show you how you can prepare this, because if you are going to take wet tea leaves and store them in a airtight container, there is a high chance that it is going to develop mold or fungus. It has to be dried before you use it. Apart from that, if you're a person who tends to add tea leaves directly to milk, so you have to ensure that you wash the tea leaves before you start to dry it out. Otherwise, again, there will be issue of ants or fungus. Over here, I have washed the tea leaves completely, as you can see. Now all I have to do is just spread it in this dish, and I'm going to leave it out in the sun for it to dry. Ideally, it takes around 1 to 2 days, because I leave it in afternoon direct sunlight, so it hardly takes 2 days. Over here, as you can see, as I have spread it onto this dish, I'm going to leave it in the sun. So after 2 days, this is going to be completely dry and it is going to be ready to be used in our plants. Now, of course, every day I keep adding as much of tea consumption that I have. Whatever is left back, I keep collecting it and I put it out in afternoon direct sunlight for it to dry out. And once it's ready, then what I can do is I can either go ahead and store it in an airtight container, like over here, as you can see. Every time that the tea leaves are dried out, I store them in an airtight container. Now there is no expiry date for this because this is already dehydrated, and as I said, you have to ensure that it's completely dry. All of the moisture has been evaporated from the tea leaves, and only then go ahead and put it in an airtight container. Over here, as you can see, all of my tea leaves are completely dry, so I can go ahead and fill it in this airtight container. Now, as I said that I can store it and keep it in this, it is not going to expire. Whenever I want to use it, I can go ahead and use this anytime. Tends to work out really well. I will be going ahead and using a little bit in my rose plants, because rose plants tend to love the waste tea leaves. So here is my pink rose. So I will be using a little bit. I mean, there is nothing like it is going to damage the plant. You can use how much ever you want. I usually tend to use around 2 spoons of this metal spoon, and that is more than enough. Apart from flowering plants, I also tend to use them in my other plants, especially my caladiums. They tend to love the waste tea leaves. As you can see over here, my caladiums, this is where I had added probably a couple of weeks back, and you can see this is my caladium that is just waking up from dormancy. All of these, in fact, you can see it has old dried tea leaves. So I'm going to use a little bit in this as well. It tends to work out really well because, as I've said, caladiums love leaf mold, and our waste tea leaves also tends to work in a similar way. It is basically tea leaves, so it's very similar to the leaf mold that we have. Over here as well, a lot of my caladiums have started to wake up from their dormancy, so it's time to use some tea leaves, waste tea leaves. And the best thing about waste tea leaves is that it's not very strong. It's very mild, and it is also acts like a slow release fertilizer. I will also add in the pots wherein they have not started to sprout, and I will also add in the ones that they have already sprouted. So in this way, it tends to work out really well. I have few more of my caladiums that have still not woken up from dormancy. As you can see over here, I'm just waiting for all of them to start waking up from dormancy, and then I can use it in all of these pots. So that's about it. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.